Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Fiona here. As you all can tell from the title, this video is going to cover some pretty heavy content, but I will keep it as light as possible. The news of this case came out on April 10th, and ever since it has elicited a public outrage, the Ministry of Public Security in China decided to intervene in this case on April 13th. However, ever since it made this announcement, we, the public, have heard nothing back from this authority until May 27th, the day I am filming this video. So this adds on another reason why I am filming this video here is because I think I can do something more than just reading those reports and waiting for the case to be resolved. And for today's video, it is based on two Chinese news reports, and I just want to throw a disclaimer here as I have tried my best to objectively and accurately to translate these two reports. And all of my tones and sound effect of this video are just me trying to ease the vibe. Before we dive into this timeline, I just want to briefly introduce the suspect and the victim. The suspect, Bao Yuming, is an outstanding lawyer and has been in that industry for almost 24 years. And not only he had worked in China, he used to work in US for nearly 10 years as an counselor at law. And he is also a US citizen. In China, he was awarded as National Top 10 Counselor at Law and being a prof at a prestigious university. And all in all, he is a person that is almost conventionally successful. And our victim, which I will refer her as Lee here, she was only 14 when she was being sexually assaulted by Bao for the first time. And 14 is the exact age of consent according to the law in China. And this age just means that basically you have the capability to say yes or no to any sexual acts. That's it for the background information, and let's just get started with the entire timeline. On April 2015, Lee's mother and Bao get to know each other online, and within half a year, Bao gradually gained her trust as the mother considered him as trustworthy, reliable, and father-like. Plus his outstanding profile, such as being a successful lawyer, Lee's mother was further convinced that letting Bao taking charge of Lee's education is a much better idea, and let Bao being her adoptive father. However, according to law on adoption, if an unmarried male is about to adopt a girl, the year gap between the two should be over 40. However, in this case, the year gap between Bao and Lee is only 29 years. Yet, according to the news report from the paper, Lee's mother and Bao get to know each other from a go-between that shares posts about adopting baby girls on the social media platform QQ. And Lee's mother was trying to do this because she wanted to free Lee from the notion of always being an unfortunate kid. And on October, according to the paper, Bao said something like this: I went out with Lee about 2 to 3 times. She was pretty happy and told me that she was abandoned as a kid, and every time we hang out together, she would say something like, I don't want to let you go. I was deeply touched and think I really should help her out. And therefore, in November, Lee went to Beijing for school with Bao, and on December 31st, the last day of 2015, Lee and Bao were in Tianjin. And on that night, Lee just turned into 14, and it's also the day that Bao sexually assaulted her. According to Lee, at that night, Bao turned the lights off but left the TV on. He sat in front of the TV and led Lee to sit alone by his side. And all of a sudden, Bao restrained her and took her clothes off and said something like, "Sleeping with your clothes on is unhealthy." And later on, he took Lee's phone away and sent her back to Beijing and locked her down. However, according to Bao, he did not respond what happened on that day. But from his social media and chat history, we can know that on December 13th, he booked a ticket to Tianjin. And on that day, December 31st, he texted Lee in a parking lot and asked where she was. And until January 4th, he went back to Beijing, and all of his posts did not mention Lee at all. And also, when the journalist asked him if they had done any sexual practice, he said, "It's about one's privacy, not only about mine, but also hers. I personally don't want to talk about it, because if you ask her, will she let me talk about it? It is more than one's privacy, right? I need to consider how she feels." Moving on to 2016, in Yantai Shandong province, Bao almost kept Li as a captive and forced her to watch and learn from child pornography. If Li considered this pornography is being inappropriate, Bao would accuse that it is her problem. And if Li was about to tell all of this stuff to someone, that person is going to suffer, as he will ask others to let that person to pay his or her price of knowing this stuff. And he would torture Lee in any ways as possible. And also, Bao did not send Lee for school, and he would sit alone by her side when she was answering her mom's phone call. And also in this year, on an online medical counseling platform, Lee get in contact with a female doctor who told Lee that she was being sexually assaulted and she should call the police for help. Yet we do not know how things are ended up through her first attempt of seeking for help from the police. However, according to Bao's response, he accused Lee of being lying, as he did not purchase an apartment in Yantai until June 2017. And before that, he lives in his working place, where visitors are expected to write down their personal information whenever they are about to enter that building. And also, he said that Lee was not in Yantai until 2018, claims that her traveling history and all of these things should contradict her claim. And he also denied that he kept Lee as a captive or something related to locking her down in an apartment. He said, quote, "She has the room key, and tutors would come over and assist her schoolwork. She could also go to the library or play around the seashore. And I would pick her up, and our chat history recorded everything. Yet, as all of those screenshots that he has provided, there is no such thing." Moving on to 2017 to 2019, these two reports only covered some vignettes during these 2 years, so I am just going to quickly go over all of them. As Lee said, she has no privacy, as Bao would set up surveillance camera in the living room, and she could not shut up the door when she was using the bathroom. And Bao would log into her social media account anytime just to keep in track to whom she had been getting contact with. And Bao would also use some brainwash and repetitive claims towards Lee, such as, quote, "What we are doing is completely normal and people in movies would do the same. If you tell this to someone, you are sinful and everyone would disdain you. This world only I treat you the best and others seeks a chance to hurt you." And here are some screenshots. And also, if Lee would focus on her schoolwork, Bao would say something like, "Is your schoolwork more important?" When Lee was watching a cartoon, Bao would ask her if she liked the cartoon character, the happy ship, and ask her if she wanna do that kind of thing with that cartoon character.
And also, and in Zoo,
Bao would whisper to Lee, said, "Humans and animals can do that kind of thing too." And when they were visiting Lee's mom, Bao said to Lee, "You and your mom can also have sex." And also during these 2 years, Bao said they have met his parents on 2017 and they will get married when Lee is old enough. And she also promised that she's going to go to a university in Yantai after she finished her college entrance examination. And as she told him, he gave Lee a wedding ring. Moving on to April 8th, 2019, Lee committed suicide for the first time, and fortunately, she was saved and was sent to the police station. The day after, she did a trauma analysis and a fluid test in Yantaishan Hospital, and the diagnosis indicated that she had injury on her shoulder, upper limb, and sacrum, and she also has some crusts. And plus, during this investigation, Lee provided evidence such as pads with her blood and semen, and the tissues that Bao has been wiped. And also, he's told the police that they could find child pornography, her naked picture, and videos on Bao's laptop and the TV in their living room. And the surveillance camera in the living room should also record everything. And on this day, Bao was called as a suspect. That day, Bao was sent to home just like that. And at the end of April, the police said they could find nothing about child pornography or these naked picture or videos on Bao's laptop. And even if Lee told the police that she knew where they were, the laptop had already sent back to Bao. And Lee also asked for the DNA test result, and the police didn't give it to her neither. And on April 29th, the police issued a case withdrawn, and Lee refused to take it back. And until June, Lee was still trying to get help from the police. Well, at this time, she did get a letter of promise from Bao, which it is just kind of like a written statement. And this letter begins with, "To my present daughter, my future wife." And this line is the only line that we could know from the letter, and none of the media had released the entire letter. And after this, Lee attempted suicide for the second time, and this time she jumped into the Yellow River. And fortunately, she was saved and went back to her hometown with her mom, and she was later diagnosed with major depression, major PTSD, major anxiety, and vaginal infection and injury. And from June to August, Lee's mom and Lee had been trying to fall back. And on August, Lee decided to help them out. And 2 months later, they did get a written decision of case filing that is supervised by the petitioning office of a prosecutor's office, which means that the case is reopened. And however, after 2 weeks of investigation, things seem to be settled again, as even after the Chinese New Year of 2020, the attorney Lee and Lee herself couldn't get in contact with the police that is being responsible for the entire case. And that's it for the timeline of this case. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the very end of this video. And please give a thumbs up if you think that this case should not be settled just like this.
And in the next video, or the video,
Or I am definitely gonna give you guys an update about how Bao has responded to the entire case and the public's outrage on the internet, and how we, the public, had been trying to keep this case as fresh as possible so that it is not going to be perish or vanish just like this. And I will see you guys next time.